Manchester United nil, Arsenal 1. It is a game that didn't really reflect the result, in my opinion, where Manchester United were more the dominating team and Arsenal only had one big chance. And as per usual, Tony Pulis set pieces scored by Calafiori. All in general, it's a little bit guttering when you're actually dominating the game. You have clear-cut chances. Manchester United are more potent in the final third and creating more chances in the open play. But Arsenal just had one set-piece chance, and you can argue to the point, was that impediment of Bayanda? Are we going to speak about Bayanda at the end of the day? Because if Manchester United were willing to splash the cash on Belieber, please get me a new goalkeeper. We don't have a number one, and if there's rumors is true that Man United are plotting a secret move for David De Gea, please, for God's sake, bring him in. Okay, Bayanda, in all glory, this is the second time in the Premier League that he does kind of that blunder from a corner. That is the goalkeeper's claim, right? Seriously, like, you can't fumble like that, and Arsenal will punish you. One opportunity, one chance, and that's it. Then Manchester United tried to huff and puff. So that is the only negative from my perspective. But I'm going to speak a lot of things about the positives, because a lot of things has improved from last season. I was listening to Sky Sports and they were talking about Sesko versus Gyökeres, and Sesko being the £74 million player and Gyökeres being the £64 million player, which is absolutely fallacy. Sky Sports like to sort of add the add-ons, which is not true. Gyökeres, in my opinion, didn't even lay a glove. And I'm glad Man United dodged the bullets, although I love Gyökeres in a way. But let's speak about Manchester United. Where do we begin? Matthias de Ligt in the back, he was the general. He was immense, in my opinion. He stopped Gyökeres, he pin-pocketed Gyökeres, but we also got to speak about Dogo, Dalot, the first half, all good. But in the first half, Cunha and Mbeumo starting to click in, and the ball from behind was far too often happening, but we didn't really convert those chances because we didn't have the number 9, because Ruben Amorim decided he will not start Sesko in the beginning. I understand. However, he started with Mason Mount to sort of drift back in the midfield to provide a little bit of a protection to Casemiro, which I thought had a good game. Casemiro's passing was sublime, the way he found Mbeumo with the long-range passes and Cunha. But Cunha, in my opinion, was sublime. He could have scored. It was just a matter of fact when, but it didn't happen. It didn't happen. However, I was thinking to myself, second half, come on, this got to happen, right? Patrick Dogo, okay, he hit the post. That was so close. That was inch millimeters, and we huffed and puffed, but the ball didn't go in. But you gotta give it to Arsenal. Arsenal is arguably the best defense in the team. They had a game plan, but they didn't go much on the attack, in my opinion. Second half came in. We saw some positive substitution. Mason Mount come out. In comes Sesko and Ugarte, which I thought had a little bit of a stinker of the game. He could have laid up the passes. He always has a yellow card in him, but at the end of the day, we tried. We looked like we are going to press them. Then Harry Maguire came in, and we tried, and the ball just didn't want to go in at the end of the day. But there's positives about that. Bruno playing more deeper. Could have seen Bruno playing more advanced. We missed that Bruno, the goal scoring opportunity from Bruno. Then at the end of the day, I look at the referees. Far many times they went to VAR check. Not a penalty on Cunha, not a penalty on Mbeumo, not a penalty whatsoever. But you can argue to the point that the VAR could have actually looked at the impediment of, Bayanda, because I thought that was an impediment. That was a push, definitely. But I guess who was in the VAR room? Anyway, we're not going to sort of speak about the VAR that much. I'm just wanted to say that it's the first game of the season. Of course, I was expecting us to win. Of course, I'm gutted that we lost, barring the way we played. I think we played fantastically well. This is a massive improvement from last season. And where do we go from here? Definitely. I mean, you can look at that. Onana was not even part of the bench squad, and Amorim in the interview said that it was just a tactical selection, but he might be around for next year, next game. I don't think that we will ever see Onana play again. I think the club has pretty much told him you need to leave. Same with Rasmus Højlund. He was not even part of the squad today. And that is a clear message to those two players that you guys need to leave. There's 2 weeks of the transfer window. And we need a new midfield. We need a definitely new goalkeeper. Because we can't go with Bayander. Young, little bit of a mistake. But of course, he's good on the feet. But then what? What do we have then? Onana? I don't really trust Onana whatsoever. Do we have Heaton? Steady Eddie? Definitely. But what do we need? We need a midfielder. Definitely. Mason Mount did a really good job, and I think that this season might be Mason Mount's season. Amad Diallo came in the second half and instantly provided a threat. That tells me that why are we starting with Diego Dalot in the first half? Potentially stability. But in the second half, we looked more dangerous in terms of going forward, at least. Sesko came in, yet again, he's a little bit of a target man. He provides height, but we didn't really put balls into Sesko to attack. There was a couple of layovers. There was a couple of good balls when he actually received the ball well. He shielded the ball and laid it up. And then Ugarte, for some miraculous reason, instead of passing the ball, he decides to shoot. And that was like a golden opportunity, because if you look at the space that was there, Ugarte could have actually driven further down or find Umbuemo on the corner. But what does it do? Shoots from 40 yards outside, absolutely ball wasting. And then, as what it does usually, in the middle of attack, when we actually are attacking, he goes away and does a silly thing, right? A silly foul, which then gave Arsenal momentum again, and we couldn't really score 1-1 at the end of the day. I don't know, man. I just like judge and jury. We need a new midfielder. Ugarte, for me, it's still learning on the job. You know, there's games where he's consistent and good, but there's too many times when he does like this, which is not acceptable in Ruben Amorim's system when he's actually trying to sort of get us moving forward. But if I compare from last year, like, you know, massive improvements. And I'm not gonna whinge, because Manchester United had about 54%, or we were leading the ball possession, and the stats don't lie, but we just didn't score. And Arsenal, at the end of the day, silly corner. I mean, what was the point of getting Gyökeres anyway, when you're just going to go with the corners? And by the way, they changed the corners tactics. Before they used to flood the box, and now they're kind of flooding the 6-yard box running in. And that pretty much caught Manchester United off guard. Anyway, I want to hear your thoughts and feelings. I'm not upset in a way. I see positives. Like, you know, we're going away to play away at Fulham. But of course, the opening, Manchester United were the better team. And we should have at least got away with a draw. But it is realism, isn't it? We're not there yet, but a massive improvement from last season. That's all I have to say. Manchester United 0, Arsenal 1. What is your reaction? Let me know in the comment section below. Let's go. Let's go Fulham next week, and definitely we will get 3 points against Fulham, I believe. This has been Mick Ruby, Mufc Realist TV. Have a nice day, and hopefully this made the sense of this match day. Don't forget to like and subscribe, because I'm going to sleep. I'm knackered. It is 3 o'clock in the morning where I am. Glory, glory, Manchester United. See us. Bye.